This is the very first episode of an all-new series called Engine Masters, presented by AMSOIL. On this show, you're going to see me and my buddies having a whole lot of fun while doing serious testing on the engine dyno. We're going to be verifying the performance of speed parts. We're going to be doing a lot of head-to-head shootouts and telling you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. With me, you'll see Steve Dulcich, who is the editor of Engine Masters magazine, and you'll see other Steve Brule, who runs this place, Westech Performance Group in Mira Loma, California, where we do all of our dyno testing on the Superflow 902, and we're gonna kick it off finding big stinky power with a tunnel ram on a crate motor. Here's our baseline for the day. A Blueprint Engines 400 cubic inch small block Chevy that's advertised to make 508 horsepower and 473 pound-feet of torque. We'll find out. The company is also pretty interesting because they design stuff, they manufacture it, and they assemble it and sell crate engines which are tested before they leave. This block is actually made by Blueprint Engines, so is the cylinder head, and when they put it together, they'll sell you this whole thing for $7,000, which is a pretty good deal considering it comes with everything you see here except for the water neck, the electric water pump, the damper, and these dyno headers. Now let's talk about the tech basics on this thing. First of all, the Blueprint block is cool because it comes with a 4.125-inch bore. That's bigger than a standard 350 Chevy, which is 4-inch. The compression ratio on this is a zero-decked 10.3:1 with forged pistons and a forged crankshaft. The camshaft in this is a hydraulic roller. It's 236, 242 degrees of duration at 50 thousandths tappet lift. The lift is 553, 576, and it's on a 110-degree lobe separation angle. Up top are the cylinder heads that we'll be testing today. These are an as-cast head, non-ported, with a 220cc intake runner. Up top, we've got a high-rise dual-plane intake manifold, and that is an 850 CFM Holley double pumper. Ignition is standard HEI, and the headers here are dyno headers, which make good power, and they're a 1 3/4 inch tube. As usual, we called Uncle AMSOIL and said, what oil do we run in this thing? And their answer was their Z-Rod 1030. The Z-Rod is meant for classic muscle cars and hot rods and things like that. It has a lot of zinc in it. You've probably heard of that for protection on flat tappet cams. This does have a hydraulic roller in it, but they still like to see zinc in these older engines. And they put a rust preventative in this so that if you don't drive your car that much and it's sitting around and gathers condensation inside, you're not gonna see any rust. Oh, look at the long pour, yeah. We've got the Blueprint 400 loaded on the dyno, and they shipped it with a dyno sheet that Steve is holding, and it claims 509 at 6,200, which is right on target, but they made way more than 500 pound-feet all through the mid 4,000 range with a peak of 516.9.
Wow.
So we'll see. That's a lot of torque, even for 400 inches. This is the moment when we find out if Blueprint is mad at me or happy with me. Nowhere near.
Yeah, we've got some tuning to do, obviously. It's still way rich.
Here's what happened there. You saw that it ran way too rich. So while these guys were changing jets, I called Blueprint Engines and I'm like, what's going on? They normally test at like a 72 jet, and they're at 2,500 feet of elevation. This thing had 80s in it. 80s front and rear, which is kind of unusual.
We looked at the cruise air fuel ratio right before we went and made the jet change, and I think we're gonna be good and safe here.
Okay, let's find out how much we fixed it. Oh, we now have rock solid oil pressure.
That's better.
I didn't look at the power number. What do we got? Yep. This is now pretty much exactly what Blueprint claimed. 516 pound-feet. We're down a little bit from that, 504. They're making 509 horsepower. We're down just a hair of that, 507. So this thing is making more than its advertised power.
Well over the advertised power, and it's very encouraging to know that someone else calibrates their machines.
Now we get into the meat of my theory, beginning with the fact that this intake manifold and carburetor made 500 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque. It's a high-rise dual plane. We've run these a lot. We know they work good under 6,500 RPM, but you'll see a lot of guys take an engine like this and they want to make more power, they want to go to the drag strip, and they will install something like this big Super Victor intake. This can be good at the drag strip. It probably will make more horsepower up at the top end, but I am going to guarantee you from experience, 9 times out of 10, this is going to throw away power below the torque peak. Virtually every single time. And that's all about runner length. The dual plane has a big long runner. This has a shorter runner and more plenum volume, which brings us to the tunnel ram. The thing I see on the internet all the time is people saying, you can't run a tunnel ram on the street. That's only for high RPM. That's not going to work. I'm going to go on a limb right now and say that when we run this on our Blueprint 400, it's going to make more power at every point in the curve than that dual plane. And here's why. It has a long runner to it. This isn't a short race style tunnel ram. This is a big street tunnel ram with a long runner, and that's gonna give us the torque that we're looking for at the bottom end, but it has way more airflow than we have going on here, because of course it has twice the number of carburetors, and it makes power because it has a much straighter shot into the port. With this type of manifold design, you've got your port here and your manifold here, the air's gotta make a turn. This one's a straight shot down to the valve, and that's why my theory, which we're about to back up, is that that tunnel ram is gonna work better than any of these intakes. One downside though, this junk is heavy. Ugh. This is an old Edelbrock TR1Y. It has, I think, the tallest runners of any of them and the biggest cross section in the runner for just a cast street manifold. The carburetors, you'll notice, are also old school. I didn't go with the HPs. So this is a regular old school Holley 4779. It just wakes it up, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks good. If it runs as good as it looks, we're in good shape.
Okay, before we begin, we all need to write down a number.
Ooh, this will be good.
We're gonna write it down, not share it with the other guy.
Well, this is all well and good, but what's on the line? I think to make it interesting, we ought to have a little green on the table.
You think so?
Yes.
I got me some 5.
Okay, so here you go.
So now it's.
Hey, I'm not doubling down.
Yes, you are.
Holy cow, no, I don't know about that. Really? Here.
We'll see.
There you go. Look at that.
Ooh.
Ridiculously fat.
And ridiculously high power.
Yes.
I missed.
I did too. Let's go for our numbers right now. Okay, because I know I was ridiculously far off.
What did you say for horsepower?
532.
What did you say for horsepower?
532. Look at that! He did 535 and
537.
What's really funny about this is how close we all guessed. And then we discovered basically that dual plane was hurting this thing.
Yeah.
I was correct that it did move up in RPM, way up, 5,000, 4,900 RPM at 510, but it's making 545 horsepower and this thing is pig rich. 11.3, we're gonna make this thing make 550 here in a couple minutes. This thing made a lot more horsepower than I expected, but not the torque. We just leaned the thing out, so hopefully it doesn't run at 10 to 1 at wide open. So we took 4 jet sizes out of all 4 corners, and Steve's dyno brain says that pulls out exactly 1 point of air-fuel ratio.
That'll make it perfect.
And also, notice how the tunnel ram fires right up.
And notice how the tunnel ram idles like a pussycat.
They are hard to cold start on the street in the morning. You got to pump quite a bit of fuel into them.
That must be in Michigan.
Right.
And we're in California, so
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, forget those people. It appreciated that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty good with the numbers as far as air fuel.
Yeah, I saw that. It really didn't like to load though. It's hard to do wide open throttle at full stall at 3,000 RPM.
Yeah, but it
with two
crossed over
carburetors.
way earlier in the curve.
Now we're making 553 horsepower and 519 pound-feet of torque. Let's see the overlay with the dual plane. Oh, I'm still losing. I made the vehement statement that the tunnel ram was going to be better than the dual plane everywhere in the curve, and it's doing more of a typical dual plane versus single plane
You need
thing.
to pay more attention to internet experts.
Oh,
That's the problem.
I'm obviously not one.
Nice doing business with you guys, fellas.
Nice doing business, boy.
That's right. I've always liked tunnel rams.
Yeah.
And we've proven that the small block Chevy loves tunnel rams.
It does. I've actually had this thing on a 305 Chevy and on a 350, and that's where my claim came from that it was going to make more power everywhere in the curve, but it kind of let me down on this thing.
Well, you can't concentrate on the negative. We picked up on about 50 horsepower on top.
Oh, more than that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty good.
Would you sacrifice a measly 20 pound-feet down at RPM that you never drive in for 50 horsepower up top? No.
It makes that bottom end completely irrelevant.
I've got to say, as much as we're hyping the tunnel ram, a lot of people, it's still not for them because the hole of the hood. And also, you really need to be pretty savvy with your carburetors to get the drivability down. Part throttle drivability on this thing can be a challenge. I got to give props to Blueprint too. This 400-inch crate motor did exactly what they claimed it was going to do and took a pretty good beating while it was at it.
Yeah, this is a great motor with a great induction. It's a pretty good combination.
So you're sold?
Oh man, I'd love to have this thing in a Camaro or Nova or something like that.
You heard that from Mopar Guy. That's all you can get on this episode of Engine Masters presented by AMSOIL, but you can get more in between shows. Go to social media where you can interact with Steve himself on Instagram on the account known as Engine Masters, and on Facebook it's Hot Rod Engine Masters. And one more thing, MotorTrend On Demand. It's a new deal from our company. It's basically like Netflix for car guys. We've got movies and TV shows and, you know, Steve Dulcich starring in Engine Masters, all sorts of stuff like that, plus live motorsports. It's at MotorTrend On Demand. But you can also see Engine Masters here on YouTube, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much for AMSOIL for presenting Engine Masters. You know, think of this, Dulcich.
Yeah?
There's a bunch of kids watching right now who have never seen this. They don't even know what a carburetor is.
They just know that it looks magnificent, whatever it is.
Oh, they're
right?
realizing that right
Yeah.
now.